Okay, my friends, self-proclaimed genius geologist with all kinds of degrees. Listen to what they have to say about mud fossils.
So
All
what's the
fossils.
so it is possible that some of these rocks could be giant body parts. Then
No, no, because the difference is that a fossil is a fossil, and something shaped like a fossil is a fantasy. Because the difference between a fossil and a fantasy is that one is shaped like a fossil and the other one is an actual fossil. And the reason we know it's a fossil is because most of the time it has the complete morphology of the actual thing. Which, what I mean by that is if we go to petrified forest and get a petrified log and we cut it.
Now he goes into trees. This is a tree. You can't tell them what the hell's going on in there. He's talking about he could see morphology in there, and he can't tell that that's a goose head. He can't tell that's a goose head. He can't tell that this is a lung. This is just unbelievable how incompetent that guy is. Now, here's the DNA test. Homo sapien, Homo sapien. This is the lung. I'm going to show you the giant, and it was Ra was talking about was the giants. And this is here it is right here. Excellent quality DNA for the 36-inch tip. Well, I will show you in a second, and for this lung. And it came right out of the red blood out of this end of the lung. Very carefully done. I sent the sequence of stuff in. They did the testing. And this was done 5 years ago, and I'm done screwing around with all these foolish people. Now, let me show you the parts that I had sent. Here's the things that I sent. Here's right there. This was from this fingertip, this gigantic fingertip. It's almost 36 inches long. There's the fingernail, and here's the fingerprints. I had to break that off because the keratinized, well, hold on, I'll show you. But I broke off this piece. This is the fingernail. That's the fingertip. That's the pad that bumps up against the next bone so they don't crush each other. This has fingerprints on it, and here they are. Now, this I presented to him. I didn't, and now, then Rex had the audacity to say I presented no evidence. Now, this is the actual fingerprints. You see this keratinized part here? You can't get any blood out of that. So I had to break this off of the top of the finger so I could drill down into the fingertip to get blood out of the artery. And that is also, I sent, excellent quality. My finger is the same size as one fingerprint ridge. And you know how many ridges on your finger. So just think, this thing is like I said, it's 3 feet long. It's gigantic. And Rex had the audacity to say that I presented no evidence whatsoever. And I showed this, I showed the other things, and I showed the hand, I showed everything. This hand was on the report too. So now, what do I take away from that? Let me just think about it for a second. Let's explain what I think about Rex. All right, there's a left hand. You put yours out, you're going to see that tendon. I showed all this. I showed all this. I showed the DNA reports. I showed this. I showed the lungs. I showed the CAT scan. Well, I don't remember I showed the CAT scans, but I have those too. I showed everything. Now, Rex comes on and says this. Now, don't forget, I was invited to speak, then thrown off the show. Then they come back and assault me. Get out of here. All right, listen to this.
That. And they're not just shaped like a bone, made out of a rock that looks like a bone. Are you with me? When you actually cut
under certain conditions, do they ever become stone? That's what I'm trying to ask you, but you're not letting me ask you. Under certain conditions,
all fossils are stone.
Okay, so
All fossils.
So it is possible that some of these rocks could be giant body parts. Then
No, because the difference is that a fossil is a fossil, and something shaped like a fossil is a fantasy. Because the difference between a fossil and a fantasy is that one is shaped like a fossil and the other one is an actual fossil. And the reason we know it's a fossil is because most of the time it has the complete morphology of the actual thing, which
Like this is as close as you can get to a lung. You could transplant that almost. I showed them more evidence, goose heads, everything. It has the actual morphology. What a moronity! This is what a loser this station is. This leak project. I can't imagine him standing behind this and not being man enough to step forward. This is what it is. And him and Scott Walters are buddies, and this guy's a moron too. All they had to do was just push Roger out of the way, because I can destroy them. I crush them. They're just infants in my eyes. Absolute infants. And the arrogance is just overwhelming.